Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the Legacy Evolution Generation Selects Magnificus figures. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to have a quick look at him in all three of his modes. We're going to have a look at the accessories that come with him and how you can display them in each mode. I'm lucky enough to have one of the original versions of this figure, which is a Microman Micro Change figure, so we can have a look how he compares with that. We can then of course see how he compares with the original owner of his mold and indeed the original version of that figure as well. So as you can see, quite a bit to get through with this video. So as I start to pop all these away, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to this channel, if they'd like to hit the subscribe button for me now please, because it really does help me out. And I've decided to start off in microscope mode because hopefully this video should flow all in one particular take. Now right, and if we have a look at the packaging, I liked these, to be fair, the Legacy Evolution Generation Select. So we've got like the schematics or the blueprint of the figure on the outside. Yes, it is just black and then your normal cardboard colour, but I think it's really good. I also need to thank In Demand Toys because that's where I purchased this from at a crazy low price. And inside the packaging, it is plastic free. He was hidden, well not hidden, he was wrapped up in there like so, nicely tucked away. Now we've got obviously the Legacy Evolution logo there as well, and of course he came with instructions which I'm going to show you in a second. So this is his main alternate mode, and what I mean by main is I'll show you the other one in a second. So this is of course just your microscope mode, which looks exactly like what it's supposed to be honest. It is super basic, but I mean, what more do you want from a microscope, to be honest? You can, if you want to, attach the weapon or the blaster, however you want to refer to it. You can attach it via any of these ports on this side, but to be honest, with it being obviously a microscope, I don't see why you would want to do it. It's quite funny that I love the fact that they obviously kept the alternate mode, especially when they released the original version of the mold, because of course he was a microscope and that's exactly what it is. And although you don't see many people using these, well, I don't think you do nowadays anyway, it was great that they kept this particular mode. Obviously you'd look down there and you'd see everything magnified through that. You can lift this up and down, so there's articulation there, and I'm going to show you more articulation in the other modes as well. So as I say, this was the more commonly known alternate mode. Then there of course was a tank, which was, I really like this mode, to be fair. So you'd turn these around just literally very simply 180 degrees around, and now you can see you've got some tank treads rather, on the outside, and indeed tabs just underneath there. So if we bring these in and if we tabbed this in underneath like so, it just held it together. They're a bit neater, to be honest. So you bring it underneath, it would then tab into there like so, and then you've got a cannon sort of mode, which again works, and now would make sense for you to attach the gun maybe on the side excuse me, like that, because obviously it's a cannon, and I think it looks good with the weapon on the side. They've just come slightly out, but I suppose you get the main gist of what it's supposed to look like. It was just a basic mode. I have uploaded a separate transformation process video, but as I say, I want to try and do this all in one take, so I'm going to do it as we carry on chatting. So this figure, of course, the Generation Select figures now are basically just older school, I suppose newer versions of what we used to refer to as BotCon figures. BotCon used to make figures of, you know, exactly this, figures that were old Diaclone, use of molds, etc. Whereas nowadays Generation Selects do it. Whereas beforehand, as I say, it was all done via BotCon. Generation Selects is just, I suppose, this generation's version of BotCon figures, because of course that convention has unfortunately stopped, so we don't get them, but we still get the figures like this, like the unreleased, or like the the older versions of the Diaclone versions of these particular figures. So there we go, we managed to get him up into robot mode. I would love if I could swap this to the opposite side, and I'm going to show you exactly why in a few seconds. So here he is, the main figure, which I'm sure you'll agree looks really good. I say this with most of the Decepticon figures when they go like black, like Nemesis Prime and Nemesis Convoy, and which I know is the same, Nemesis Prime, well, they just look so much better in black. Now the only negative thing is this big hole in the back where his head is. The articulation will spin all the way around with a little teeny bit of looking up and down. Articulation in the shoulders will go all the way out like a T. You'll come down, it will go all the way around completely as I say, with nothing to hit or to get in the way of it, which is good. You can see it's on a ball and socket. There's a swivel underneath the shoulder, there's a bicep flexion, and the fists, unfortunately, the wrists don't spin because they've just folded out of there. There is a waist swivel. The hips will go right out to the side, unrestricted, and they'll go all the way around just until where it catches the rest of the figure. You can see there's loads of swivel points on the hips, mainly due to transformation, but you still get a swivel, a knee bend, an ankle tilt, and a rock, and it looks really, really good. Now I'm going to pop the blaster in this hand like so. And this is the main reason why I'd like to swap this side over, but I don't think I can. I might have a look at how I can do it once I've done this video. Here's the original owner of the mold, which is of course Perceptor from the Studio Series 86 movie. Obviously we've got a different face sculpt, which is brilliant because that is more cartoon accurate, whereas this is more toy accurate. And as I say, I like to put the microscope bits on the top on a different side, just to, I suppose, signify the difference between the two. And what I mean by that is, if I just move the box out of the way, this is the original owner of the mold, of course, not owner of this mold, the original Perceptor figure, shall we say, with the red and of course his greeny colour from the original version of Transformers. And of course I put the scope on this side and the gun in that hand and the rocket launcher in the other, whereas with the original version of him, just to again signify the difference, I popped them on the opposite side. So that's one thing I think that is perhaps missing on this. You can see you can go from one side to the other however you wanted to do it. Again, just because I wanted it to be different, I put it on the opposite side. And I suppose the only thing that it's missing, if they've gone with the toy, they perhaps could have put the chrome on the sides, which they didn't. But I really like the figure. I love the idea of it. I like the fact that it is, again, a brilliant homage to the original toy, both of which look good. It's just a great opportunity to get it. The head sculpt is back to the original toy version, which you can see even so far as the yellow eyes. But again, and they've even got the translucent plastic on the front there of his chest, but they were of course just missing any chrome bits, which I've already pointed out. But there we go. I think I've pretty much covered everything in that particular video regarding him. He's exactly the same as that, just a different colour. So I hope you enjoyed looking at him. Let me know what you think of him in the comments, and of course if I missed anything out, let me know. Thanks very much guys, take care.